Hello, 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 everyone. Good evening. Good to see everybody in here. Brat, number one girl. All right. Good evening, PG. Much love. God bless you and your family. Oh, that is so beautiful. Summers Army always. Amen. To everyone in chat, prayers. Hey, girl. God bless. I so appreciate that. You number one tonight. And number two, Beth Ann. Hey, PG Mods, Summer's Army. Much love and prayers. Much love and prayers to you, girl. God bless. God bless. And let's see who is number three. And that's beautiful. We love you, Summer. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. CJ, you are number three, girl. Number three. Hello, PG, mods in chat. Hello, hello to you. Much love and prayers, she says. Number three. And number four is Chris. Amen. There we go. Number four. Good evening, PG. Love and prayers. Love and prayers. Hey, girl. Love and prayers back at you. God bless. Good to see you guys in here tonight. You is number four. And let's see who else we got. Angel, how you doing tonight, sweetie? Hey, PG, great to see you. God bless. Hey, it's good to see you too, girl. Good to see you. And let me get down through here. Oh, that is beautiful, Chris. Absolutely beautiful. I'm going to the bottom, you guys. Hey, Jean, good to see you. Justice for Summer. Moon, Utah, Wales. Amen. Absolutely. Absolutely. God bless. Ha! We got Moonflower. It says hi. At Angel. How you doing? She's waving hi at you. Amen. Absolutely, Brett. I appreciate that, girl. I appreciate that. I love my mods. My mods are so awesome. They definitely help Summer's channel so much. Hey, Christina, Dorothy, Sky. How's everybody doing in here tonight? How's everybody doing? Nils, how you doing? Sassy Pants, there you are, girl. I was wondering when you going to show up. Hello, PG chat. Much love. Prayers for all the missing and exploited people around the world. Amen. Amen. And there's a whole lot of them, girl. Whole lot of them. There's Trina says, hey all. Oh, a spoon of sugar. Says hi. Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. All right. Absolutely. Oh, that's beautiful, Dorothy. That is absolutely gorgeous. M says, hey, everyone. PG, much love to you, girl. Much love to you. A lot going on. I'm going to have a special guest up here tonight, and we'll have a guest on panel tonight, you guys. I checked before I came in. She said, just give her 15, 20 minutes. She's going to come up and she's going to join PG on panel and clear up some things, some lies. Going to clear up some lies, and I'm going to be so grateful. You know, it's going to help Summer's case quite a bit. I told you guys some things coming out tonight, and some real truth that's coming out tonight about Don and Candus Wells, right? Real truth, you guys. And this guest that's coming up is going to, I think you guys are going to want to be here. You guys are going to want to hear some of these things. In the meantime, I just want to address that, yes, I already know about, and I'm sure they're in the bushes right now. Right, Day. I'm sure you're in the bushes along with your sister. who were talking very violently about PG, very violently, very bad, very bad. Her sister seemed to be very happy that she felt she had made me cry, when indeed that was not the truth at all. I was relating to these abused children in this world, so many. I'm one myself. I was one myself. And I was relating to them, talking about them. Sassy Pants, I can't see you, girl. Anyway, um, anyway, they were being very, very unkind, and getting some, if it gives them pleasure, to, if it gives them some type of pleasure. Hey, girl, I can't let you up tonight. I got a special guest coming. I got somebody coming up, so after I'll let you up later. Um, but the thing is they were very, very rude. Um, and if it gives them pleasure, they got some kind of pleasure out of my misery, my abuse throughout my lifetime, my childhood, teen years, through my young adult years, and on through, from time to time. Then, so be it. So be it. I will put that in the hands of God and move on. I'm tired of sinning, you guys. I'm so tired of sinning because of these two women, coming at me sideways all the time. Um, they make me their content because they haven't got any. They made Sherry and her friend their content the other night. 50 years. I guess Sherry had been friends with someone for like 50 years. And they used that to rack in a bunch of money, right? To rack in a bunch of money for her, for Jink's son's birthday, right? It was Jink's son's birthday. And, she was racking in the Cash App money, 50, 25s, a whole lot of money. And then they had the audacity to say that I've been paying my bills off Summer's channel. No, absolutely not. I pitch in just like everybody does in the chat. Here on Summer's channel, we actually all pitch in to keep it running. I pitch in just like all of you do. And we keep this channel afloat. And that's what we do. We keep it afloat. Why these people, why they, have some kind of issue, trying to always, block Summer's channel from getting fundings to keep it running, I don't know. That's what they're trying to do. While they're over there, Jinky's son has a Cash App, right? Jink's son has a Cash App. She has a Cash App. She has Venmo, PayPal, Super Stickers, Super Chats, and so does Day Day. Does any of my children have a Cash App? Does anyone here donate to any of my children's Cash Apps? Yes or no? Please, please tell me, does PG have a cash app for any of her children? No, no, I don't. Does PG have a cash app for herself? No, no, I don't. I don't have I don't have none of that. What I do have is a whole lot of great people in this chat who, when they can, helps PG keep this channel going. And I always tell them the donation box in the back is not up front. I don't ask for nothing. I don't ask for anything. Matter of fact, I haven't been in here a lot because I've been busy. I've been very busy. I've been having a lot of issues with my vehicle. So what does PG do? I pick up extra time. I pick up extra work. That's what PG's been doing for the last few weeks. I've been picking up extra work to fix my car. I've been picking up extra work, right, to buy some things that, I keep my life personal. Buy some things, some, some medications, that that someone I love needs, and things like that. So I've been very, very busy. I don't come out here telling people my personal business. I don't come out here talking about how, all these things going wrong. You know what I do? I pick up extra work to make extra money until I can get everything taken care of, right? Until I can get everything taken care of. Good news is, my car will be completely fixed this coming week, and I'll be back, back in business as far as my vehicle's concerned. That way I can slow down on some of the extra hours that I've been putting in. And, there's not a lot I can do about, I still have to pick up a little bit of hours here or there for, other things that I have to get, but that's okay. It won't be as much as I've been doing. And, but these people are very, very evil. They're very evil. And, you guys know PG. I don't have to prove myself to anybody out here. I don't have to prove myself. I don't have to come out here and, you guys know what PG's capable of doing. You know what I'm capable of doing. If I wanted to, it wouldn't be nice. It would not be nice at all. Right? If I wanted to go back, stand my ground, go back the way they came at me, it wouldn't be nice. But two evils don't make a right. Two wrongs do not make a right, you guys. It just don't. And, I got to think of my soul, right? I can't keep giving in to my flesh. I got to think about my soul and where my soul's going to end up at. And I'm just tired. I'm tired of, pleasing and appeasing the devil over there. I'm not going to do it no more. I'm going to personally tell you, I don't know how I know. I don't know how I know. But I'm going to tell you something. Something told me, and you guys, you might not, you'll believe it in the future. You're going to believe it. You're going to believe what I'm saying. Something told me that those people in that chat, the way it was talking, something told me the devil's going to drag them to hell. I don't know, you guys. That's kind of scary. But I'm going to tell you, I got this real strong feeling the devil's pulling them to hell. And I want nothing to do with that. I want nothing to do with it. I just want to, I just want to stick with my God, do righteously, which I plan on doing from this day forward. I want nothing to do with them at all. I'm going to tell you, when something tells me that those people's getting pulled to hell by Satan, I don't want nothing else to do with it. I don't want to talk about them. I don't want anything else to do with them. I'm out. I'm out, you guys. I'm just out. Nothing else to do with that. Don't want even, don't even want to think about them. That's scary stuff right there. That's scary stuff. I don't want nothing to do with it. So I'm not going to be, I'm not going to be, I'm not going to be, you know, they came at us. They came at us, said a lot of bad things about PG, played out some of my weakest moments, when I was able to relate with these children who are being so abused, especially children like Summer, you know, little Quentin. I ask myself sometimes, how did I survive? How did I survive? I went through a lot, you guys. And the only reason PG's here is by the grace of God. I know it. I know it. I'm lucky to be here today. A lot of children don't make it. A lot of children do not make it. But in another way, you got to wonder, who's really the lucky one? Who's really the lucky ones? Because, I can say, well, I'm lucky I made it, to where I'm at today. Hey, Mary, I'm bringing you up, hon. If you want to close camera, you can. Okay, to bring you up. All right, sweetie. How you doing, Mary?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Spoonful of sugar. I appreciate that super sticker. Hey, girl, I appreciate you supporting Summer's channel. God bless. God bless and much love.
Yep, do anything to help out.
Um, I appreciate you coming up here, girl. And me and Mary was talking last night, you guys. We were talking last night and um about some things that back before Summer came up missing. It was before Summer came up missing, but it has a lot to do with Summer's case because Mary was telling me, and I'm going to step out of the way so she can tell you, but Mary was telling me about why Dawn really had to leave Utah. I want you to hear it from Mary, not me. I want you to hear it from her. He actually lied. He actually lied to everyone about having to come back because of Jose and the jealousy stuff. No, that's not true. Go ahead, Mary. Tell them.
Yeah, well, the day that Donnie left, I stopped by my mom's. And as soon as I pulled up into the driveway, my mom, my dad, Donnie, and his sister were standing there. Well, my mom and dad both were in tears, literally crying. And my dad, apparently Donnie had just barely punched him, okay? Literally punched him because they were arguing and fighting. I'm not really quite sure what the fight was about, but I'm sure it was over Donnie trying to move into the house. Well, they were arguing, and my dad told him, just get the hell out of here. I don't want you here. And his sister Sonia was standing there, and she even said, just get in your truck and leave, Donnie. Just go. That's the day that he left. It wasn't, he didn't leave because of Jose. He left because my dad told him to get the hell out of there.
Now, he had previously, your husband, Donnie, a couple of days before that,
Yeah.
your husband had to get Donnie because Donnie was telling your dad he was bringing his family and he was taking over the house,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah, it was probably about a week before that, before he left. Me and my husband had went over there, and Donnie was in the bedroom arguing with my dad over the house. And Donnie was sitting there yelling at and telling my dad um, that he deserved the house, that my dad owed it to him, and there was nothing that they could do. He was moving his family down here, plus the grandma, and into the house with the kids and everything. And I told my mom, I said, no, that's, don't you dare let them move in. And she's like, well, I'm not. And that's when my husband went into the bedroom and he told Donnie, he told him to get the hell out of there because Donnie kept trying to fight my dad. And, here's my dad, like 87 years old, and here's Donnie trying to literally fist fight him. And my husband told Donnie, you either get the hell out of here or we're going at it right now. You're going to deal with me. And Donnie got pissed off and took off.
Exactly, exactly. And Donnie, when Mary's um, husband first went into the room, Donnie tells him, "Get out. This ain't none of your effing business."
Yep, that's
And he said, "Oh yeah, it is. This is my father-in-law,
mm-hmm.
Donald,
Yeah,
and I'm not going to allow you to mistreat him like this. If
yeah,
you want to go at someone, then me and you going out in the yard right now."
yep, yep.
And it's hard telling because see, Mary wasn't there all the time, and it's hard telling how much other times between this Donald was being so violent to Mary's dad and mom.
Oh yeah,
And he has his son up there at the time this is going on, right?
yeah, yeah. Josie.
Yeah, and his little boy is being subject to this violence.
Yeah,
Wow. And Mary also was kind enough to enlighten me that the whole time Donnie was there, every single night, he was out there hitting the bottle and doing his regular uh, undesirable activities with his son in that camper along with him.
yeah, yep. I wasn't there. I don't know what they were going on, but I do know Donnie was getting drunk every night, and my dad was so upset about it because he would come home and go into that camper and play his music, I guess just blaring loud, even to where the cops were called on him from the neighbors a couple of times. And my dad kept telling him, you can't do that. You can't come home and live here and stay here and play your music all loud like that and sit and drink. And Donnie would just get pissed off at him and tell him to, where to go.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so this proves that Don Wells was trying to move not only Candus and his kids, but also Grandis up there into his parents' home and
Hmm.
just take over like it's nobody's business.
Yep.
It also proves that he did not leave Utah due to any type of jealousy or anything about no Jose, the way he tried to act like he did. The 911 call was not about any jealousy or Jose being there. Now, we knew that Don Wells had already got home. He already knew Jose was there. Candace explained to him that Jose had no place to go. They dumped him and she let him stay there, you know, um, and he was helping out while Don wasn't there. And Don was all good with that, and he was willing to let Jose continue to stay there as well, continue to stay there. and everything was hunky-dory until Jose seen Don Wells in the shower with Summer. And when he saw Jose saw Don in the shower with Summer, now either he heard or he seen something he did not like, because he got to tell and he told Candus, you get her out or I'll get her out, but somebody's getting her out of there. Now, something wasn't right for a man to say, I want this kid the heck out of that shower, and somebody's going to do it. And that's what the whole 911 call was about that. Now, we're going to listen to that 911 call. And let's keep in mind that Donnie was up there abusing his dad and his mom before he comes home. And who is he abusing then? Well, we're going to definitely take a listen to who Donnie was abusing at that particular time. She said he done something to Summer. He done something to Summer. Now, Summer was in the shower with him. She was in the shower. The big fight broke out because Jose made Candus get Summer out of that shower. That's what everything was about Summer being in that shower. Yet she says he done something to Summer. He done something to her. And he's still trying to get her, she says. Still trying to get her. He always tries to hurt Summer. He always tries to hurt her. Now they call Summer Sissy. They're talking about Summer. They said Sissy hurts. Now that's the 911 call. That's the 911 call. And I'm going to tell you something. That is why that it wasn't anything to do with Candus at all. It wasn't anything to do with any jealousy about Jose at all. This was about Summer and what Don Wells was doing to Summer. What he had been doing and what he was doing, and what in my opinion, he continued to do to this baby girl, to this little girl. And Mary more so than anyone can relate to what Don does to little girls, because She had to, endure what her sister went through.
Yeah.
And she had to endure, Donnie at one point bringing some boys in and getting close to hurting Mary herself. And, I'm going to tell you, and a lot of you here, you know, I'm preaching to the choir. You guys also know, exactly what this 911 call's about. You know what it's about because a lot of us have had people like Don Wells in our lives, right? Violating us when we didn't want to be violated, doing bad things to us when we didn't want bad things being done. Don Wells lied. He lied. Why is it so important that Mary came up here tonight and let everyone know that Don Wells did not leave Utah for the reason he said? Well, I'm going to tell you why. Because it shows that he lied about this 911 call. He lied about it. Candus lied about it. Candus knew that this 911 call had nothing to do with her or any jealousy of Jose's. She knew, exactly what this man had did and had been doing and probably was still doing up to the point that Summer came up missing. She had full knowledge of what was going on. She's the one making the 911 call. She was there. She knows it all. And it it shows the truth. That's what it shows. It shows the truth that a squad was needed. It shows that Summer did need to go to the hospital and be checked out. It does show that if 911 would have really heard what was going, if they'd have really listened, they heard it. They didn't listen. They didn't act on it. If they would have listened and they would have acted on it, Summer might still be here today. She may still be here today. I think if they would have acted on it, I believe Don Wells would have been in prison right now. And little
Yeah.
Summer would have been fine. She would have been fine. But they didn't act on it, did they, Mary?
Nope.
They didn't help her.
Yeah.
This little girl was hollering for mommy,
Yeah. Yeah. And
and mommy wasn't helping. Mommy had no intentions of helping.
yeah.
And she started hollering, somebody, anybody. Well, if I was a 911 operator, I would have said, hey, that's the cue for me to intervene. That's a cue for me to be sending a squad and making sure Child Protective Services shows up right behind law enforcement
Mhm.
and this little girl gets checked out because something ain't right here. But nobody cared enough to get that done. Nobody cared enough to get it done. The ball got dropped on this little girl so many different times. It was
Yeah.
pathetic.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Don Wells is not a good person. He's not a good person. Mary, what is the connection between Utah and Summers disappearing? Please and thank you.
I really don't know, I mean, other than Donnie lived here his whole life, pretty much, you know. And I don't know why they would, have named her, Summer Moon Utah Wells. And then Donnie always saying that he always wanted to come back here, but then when everything started falling in on him and Summer went missing, and the stuff with me and my sister, he started saying, "Oh, I hate Utah. I'm never going back there." And but I don't know what the connection really would be. You know.
Right, right. Um, that's true. That's true. I mean, you didn't even know. A lot of people, I want to clear another thing up. A lot of people are saying, well, how did Mary, um, how did Mary say that Don was leaving Summer down at the shed, maybe, for people to, and then make her walk back up on the hill alone? Um, if she didn't know about Summer, no. I want to clear that up. See, Mary did not know that Summer existed. Mary hadn't seen Dawn forever and a day, and when Dawn and the boy went to Utah, Mary went to her mother's house. The boy was in there. Mary tried to befriend the child, get some information out of the child, and Donnie kept interceding and threatening the boy and making him stay out in the trailer so that Mary couldn't learn anything about Tennessee and what was going on.
Yeah.
Don Wells, was very guardant to make sure that no one in that household learned any business about him nor the other children back home, even Candus or Grandis at that point. They knew there was a grandma. They knew that he was married. They knew that there were some kids, but they had no idea who these kids were or if they were females or males. They didn't know, or even the ages. They
Well,
had no
I
idea.
knew they were boys. I just thought that they were all boys, and I didn't even know he had four kids. I thought he just had three boys. I
Right,
never knew about Summer. I mean, during the years, there would be times where I would come to my mom's and ask maybe if Donnie's called or if she knows how he's doing, stuff like that. But there was really no, talk about girls or boys or anything. It was just kids, Well, he's got a couple of kids now, and I guess
right.
he's doing okay, and so that was about
And
it.
right. And when it came to, the shed at the bottom of the property, this is something that Mary was talking with people in the circle out here, um, of YouTube. She was talking to different people in the circle of YouTube that was giving her some insight on what could have been going on. That's where when she said, the shed and possibly she was saying, hey, I wouldn't put it past Donnie and Candace to be doing that to this child. I mean, it's something she heard, and she was just clarifying, hey, yeah, they're evil enough to do it, right?
Yeah. And that's just my opinion. There's been so many, people that I've talked to in chat and everything, and seen so many, videos and lives and stuff on it.
Right.
Yeah,
And, Mary holds a lot of detail, because, this was a young lady that growed up. She had to grow up in the household with this guy. She had to endure the freaking sinfulness and the wells of the devil when Dom was there. And, so Mary knows. I mean, like anyone, if you grow up in a household with people, oh, trust me, and you pretty much know what they're capable of. And you even more so know what they're capable of when they detach themselves from you. And that's what Donald did. He's like, you guys belong to your mom and we belong to my dad, and we're going to mistreat you guys, coming in here and acting like you're going to have at something. No, you're not. And so basically, Mary was on the inside but also on the outside, where she could really get a better view. It's not like, it was a big loving family where she loved her brother and could and had blinders on. Really didn't know him,
yeah,
really didn't get to know who he truly was. because she had all of this. Because when you grow up with somebody and you're truly love them, you put on those rose colored glasses, and there's a whole lot. It's not that you don't see it, it's that you just turn blind eyes to it and don't want to admit it to yourself or anyone else. And that's hard. But Mary didn't have to do that. She didn't have to do that because Don was a very evil person that, was very mean and separated himself from Mary's family. And therefore, Mary was there, but she was also like with Donald casted on the outside where she got a real good view of who he is. She didn't have no, you know, fake glasses on or anything trying to turn the blind eye to who Don Wells was. She knows exactly who Don Wells is. And, and she's gave a lot of insight on Don Wells out here, a lot of insight on Donnie Wells. And I'm going to tell you, and more insight keeps coming out. A lot, like we had no idea. Don Wells said, I came rushing back and because this man's in my house and, I took off and came rushing back. They throw him out on the road and get him out of my house. He's in there with my wife. Like it was a big jealousy thing. And it wasn't true at all. It wasn't true at all. 3.5 years, this is what we've been hearing. This is what, and boom, God let Mary come up and clear the air, right?
Yeah.
God pulled that lie to the light for Summer's sake. So it's another thing we know that's going to help us understand that 911 call was truly about Don Wells hurting Summer, what it was all about. And that is a big plus to Summer's case now. That's a big plus because now we know that this was all about him and him doing something very sinister to this little 5-year-old. At that time, she wouldn't even been 5, she'd only been 4.
Yeah.
She'd only been 4 years old. Yeah. And he was having at her. Right? Yeah. And Candus said he was. Yeah. Candus says he's always trying to hurt Summer. He's trying to hurt her now.
Yeah.
And this little girl's hollering, help me. Somebody, anybody help me. And nobody did.
And even before, when Donnie was with Pam and they had Margie and little Donnie, we were always calling like CPS and stuff on them because of the way they were treating them, the way they were growing up, and we wanted something done about it because we didn't think that they deserved to have these kids because of the way they were, raising them. And it wasn't just, neglect physically, but mentally also. And when, and then when all this stuff came out about Summer and, you through the chats and all the videos and everything, everybody's saying, well, we called CPS, but they didn't do anything. And it makes you wonder why. Because when we were calling CPS on him when he had the two other kids, they would go out to their house and stuff, but most of the time when CPS would go and do a check and everything, Donnie and Pam would up and move. They were gone. Gone.
Right. And at one time, they went all the way to Tennessee to hide.
Yeah.
In a trailer down at the bottom of the property because old Mr. Goats wouldn't let Don Wells up on the property. He said, I don't want you up here.
Yeah.
And he was what kept Don and Pam at bay away from his wife at the time, which was Don's mother.
Mm-hmm.
And Don, he stayed over into Arkansas, waited for his mother's husband to pass away, and then he hightailed it in there to do her the way he tried to do your dad and your mom.
Yep. Yep.
And you know what she said? Um, she said his mother told a couple of the ladies, there was these ladies from the church. Old Miss Goats was one of them.
Mhm.
These ladies were the ones taking care of Donald's mom, not Don and Candus, but these older women from the church came in every day
Mhm.
and checked on her and, brought her food and, talked with her for a while. And these older women said that Don's mother had confided into them the same thing, that him and Candace would play real loud music. And when he asked them to turn it down, she would ask, please turn it down, because she was sick and she didn't want to hear it. They would turn it up and play it even louder
Mhm.
and, really do stuff. She told them ladies that they were torturing her.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
that's terrible.
I mean, her last days on this earth were pure hell, all because she opened a door up to her son who she thought would be good to her and was not good at all. Him and Candace were very, very evil.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don Wells feels, you know, Don Wells feels that he has some kind of right to take whatever he wants. He thinks he has some type of right to, you know, he felt he had a right to violate and take whatever he wanted away from Mary's little sister. Like he owned it.
Yeah.
And he acted like he had a right to come in that house and do what he did with his friends to Mary.
Mhm.
And he acted like he had a right to act out and say whatever he pleases and treat people however he pleases when, and that's how evil is. That's
Yeah.
exactly what evil does. And
Yeah.
you know why it does it? Because it believes it can. You have to tell it, no, you can't.
Yeah.
And that he, just like when he was in Utah and he did that to Mary's dad and mom. Well, you know, Mary's dad was fighting as hard as he could for somebody almost 90 years old.
Yeah.
But God put Mary's husband's feet there that day
Yeah.
to say, no, you can't.
Mhm.
No, you can't, you evil bastard. And no, you're not.
Yeah.
And wherever your feet are, that's where God put them, and that's where they were needed. That's why Mary and her husband was there. Did Don ever say anything to his dad or mom why he wanted to move into the house with them? Did he ever say anything about why he was moving in there?
No, but he did tell me the reason why he wanted to move back down here was because there was more work apparently. Apparently he couldn't find very much work or something up there or something. So he
And
wanted to move back here.
you know, I had Don on my panel, Mary. What do you think of this? I had him on my panel. And I said, Don, I have made up some T-shirts, and I can make more. They were really beautiful shirts,
Mhm.
and I said I can make different ones, and you can have them. Send them to a screen printing shop,
Mhm.
and and have them put up on everybody's channels. Um, to sell them to get a new reward for summer, to get a new reward for this is back when they was taking her reward. I
Okay.
said, and we could all sell these t-shirts and all the proceeds would go into a new reward fund for summer, and I'm sure people would buy them. you
Mhm.
know I he could have sold them like at $20 a shirt. They were really beautiful, really detailed, really beautiful shirts.
Mhm.
um and He could have sold them easy, 20 bucks a pop, and it wouldn't have took long to get 5, 10 grand up in that reward fund again for summer.
Yeah.
Little summer. I said, and if she ain't found in um 5 to 10 years, whatever the limit, whatever limit wants to be put on it, then the money can go to the boys because they're in, child protective services, they're in foster homes.
Right.
When they get out, they're going to need a start in life. And I said, maybe, right at the beginning, you might not want to give, some young boys money because they'll blow through it and it's gone. But, maybe after they, come out and they've been out for a little while and, know how important it is to have a roof over their head and education, and so maybe at that point they come into some money, they'll use it wisely, buy a
Right.
home, get some education, do something important instead of just blowing it and wasting it. And he said, no, 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 sissy, that ain't what I want to do. How about if we sell these t-shirts and buy some land up in Utah, so we can put trailers on it and have homeless people ain't got no homes, come and live on it. I said, what?
Yeah, and I'm baffled. What?
He wants to drag homeless people on this piece of land like he did over in Utah. The only problem or over in Arkansas. And
Mm,
the only problem is when he was dragging these homeless people to his home over in Arkansas, he was dragging women with children, pregnant women, and women who already had children. He was looking for families with kids to drag in. Well, the problem with this is law enforcement and child protective services came in there and they took these children out because they were being essayed by
mhm,
these people in Donnie and Pam's home and around their home.
uh-huh.
And there was people going to jail.
I didn't.
And this is,
I never knew that.
yes, absolutely. Matter of fact, I have, there's a girl in my chat on Sassy Pants,
Hmm.
um, who was one of the victims in Donnie's garage with her baby.
Oh, wow.
And her baby was one of them that was taken away. Um, you know, she didn't get it back.
Hmm.
And, this is what Don and Candace was doing to these young girls, these young mothers,
Right.
that were homeless and trusting, that they really wanted to help, but all they wanted to do was bring them into a evil cesspool for weird people to have at them.
Yeah.
And I believe that something like that was also going, well, up in Utah. You said he tried to sell his son. He
Yeah.
tried to sell his little girl. You
Yeah.
know, he was trying to sell his children even before this.
Hmm.
And it seems like, in Tennessee, this may be a something that was going on too with Summer and some other children possibly around and at the Wells care. And then and now he's wanting, he came right on my panel and says, I want to buy land in Utah, since he feels like he he burned up everything in Tennessee. He can't do it in Tennessee again, so he wants to come back to Utah, get land, and start bringing these people, start doing it again. Him and Candace want to start doing this again, only in a different place.
Right.
Right? That's what it sounds like to me. you
Mhm.
know
Yeah. Yep. That's exactly.
um when he was in Utah, um was Child Protective Services on them? I mean, is that why they ran over into Arkansas?
Yeah. See, that's because we were always calling CPS. Me, my four other sisters, my brother. I mean, even my mom. we were constantly always calling CPS because every time we seen them, every time they came over, anything, I mean, the the kids, they were just babies, and I mean, literally, little Donnie, because Pam always propped his bottle on the side of his little bassinet or whatever it was she carried him around in.
Right.
He had an indentation, literally, on the side of his head because he was always tilting his head because she propped his bottle from the day she brought him home from the hospital,
Oh,
and it was terrible. I mean, this little, 3-month-old baby with a freaking dent in the side of his head because she constantly propped his bottle. And
right.
I don't know if his darn head ever grew out of that or not, but
Right.
when you see stuff like that and they've got a diaper on that they've been wearing for a frickin' week and milk, curdled milk all in their chins and everything, and their clothes were just filthy, and it was
And
bad. It was bad, you know.
it was hard for you
Yeah.
because you loved those kids. You
Mhm.
loved them children. They were, you felt these are my nieces and nephews. This is
Yeah.
family.
And
And
we tried to clean them up every time we'd see them. I tried stopping by their house every time, and I would go in and the house would be like a hoarder house and just garbage and junk and roaches and mice and I mean everything just everywhere. And
oh, that's
I would try to
disgusting.
go over there and bathe the kids and buy new outfits for them and change their diapers and hold them to feed them. I mean, it was just it was terrible. And CPS, I mean, I guess they tried doing stuff, but every time CPS came to the house, they would either not answer the door or pack up and leave. Every
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. And that's what they do. That's what they do. It seems like Child Protective Services don't want the children they should be taken, and they go taking kids that they shouldn't, right?
yeah,
I mean, like there was cases where, you know, Child Protective Services, actually go into nice clean homes, well kept homes. The kids, having a little bit of problem with maybe, their education or something. And here children's services is dragging these parents through the mud and everything else. And I think it's because these parents they can
yeah,
afford to pay the court and the attorneys. I mean, everybody's making money because
right,
these parents are definitely going to start spending the money, to fight all of this and get it out of the way. But they go to homes where children are being totally abused, like you said, just a nightmare. I mean, like 1,000 flies on the diaper,
yeah,
and the child's belly button sticking out from crying its head off and no one taking care of it, and the child smells from head to toe like it ain't been bathed in a year, and they walk out, they turn their back and just run away from it, like, oh,
yeah,
because nobody wants that child in their home. Child Protective
that's right,
Services don't, these caseworkers, they don't want, you know, they walk in there with their expensive clothes on, right? Their little high heels, their expensive clothes on, their little, pea coats and their leather bag,
yeah,
and they walk in there and they don't want none of that stuff touching them, right? Then I'll tell you what the caseworker says: when I get home, I'm going to have to hose myself down in the backyard, hope nobody sees me,
yeah,
because these clothes are not going in my house at all. They're going to have to go in a bag, and they're going to have to go to the dry cleaners after I've been in there.
yeah,
And they're serious. When they get home, that's exactly what they're doing. They're in the backyard stripping off their clothing
Right.
closing off, putting it in a bag, and to take it to a cleaner's. They don't even bring the clothes in their house. I lost Mary. I lost you, Mary. Come back. I just put you a link out. But Mary's right. She's absolutely right. Um, the dispatcher heard Summer crying for help. No one came to help her. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. And that's absolutely sad. Um, and like Mary said, Don and Pam's first children should have been taken into custody. They should have been protected. They should have been placed with people who would have took good care of them, who would have loved them, who would have, treated them right, educated them, and done all the things needing to be done. I do believe that Mary at one point said that, um, I do believe at one point she said that the little girl, she was going to adopt it. I'm bringing you back up, Mary. That she was going to adopt the little girl, but Pam wanted them to give her the money, but she still wanted to have all access to the child as she did before. Was it you going to adopt the baby?
Yeah, we were going to adopt Margie.
Right.
Mhm.
And Pam wanted to be able to still have all to do with her.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
And that's when you put your foot down and said no.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. They came over to sign the papers because we had the papers all drawn up from an
Right.
attorney. From an attorney. Donnie's sister, Sonia, she's all that's you can't do that. Um, what'd she call it? Can't remember what she called it. Um,
Illegal.
yeah, well, yeah, she said it was illegal. Um, but there's a word for it. I forgot what she called it because we were going to give him $10,000, but the reason for the 10 grand was because we were trying to help him because Donnie wasn't working at the time, Pam wasn't working, and they needed money. And
So you wasn't paying for the child.
no, no,
Was what you were doing was trying to give them a boost to get back on their feet and
right,
move forward, give them
yeah,
opportunity to get a roof over their head
yeah,
and some food on the table, clothes on their back, and
right,
straighten up and start moving forward properly,
right,
and possibly give the little boy a better home,
yeah,
since they didn't want to let you have him, to
mhm,
give the little boy a better home. But instead, yeah, it wasn't extortion. It was, a hand up. They were trying to give him a hand up.
mhm.
And, what
But
Donald was saying, what Donald was saying is, um, I, I, I'll let you have my little girl if you can show me that you can afford to help, afford to keep her up. So Mary's like, well, I'll give you guys 10,000 to show you guys that we have more than enough to keep your daughter up. We'll help you, help keep the little boy up too. Put a roof over his head, food on the table, clothes on his back until you guys can get working again. It wasn't, they weren't buying a child,
right,
um,
right,
at
yeah,
all. They was just trying to give that baby a really good home so it wouldn't have to be drugged through all the things the little boy had already been drugged through. And because they wasn't willing to let the little boy go, Mary was trying to help him out in order to keep him up and to do for him as well. The money was really for the little boy's sake, not for anything else.
right,
And since Child Protective Services, which Mary and others had called so many times, wouldn't help these children, Mary thought, what are you supposed to do? You got to try to help them yourself. And that's what she was doing.
So the night that they came over to sign the papers, um, we were sitting around the table, and Donnie and Pam, they were getting ready to sign. Donnie did sign the paper. He signed first, and then he handed the paper to Pam, and she stops and she looks at me and she goes, "Well, now, since you guys are adopting her, I'm still going to be able to like come and get her like on weekends and stuff like that and see her." And I said, "No, no, if we adopt her, she's going to be our little girl, not yours. You cannot, we don't want you having any contact with her at all." And she looked at me and she's like, "No, no, no, I'm not signing." And Donnie got all pissed off and he's like, "Just sign the fucking paper right now. Let's get our money and get the hell out of here." All he wanted was the money. That's all he wanted. He did not care if he was signing his rights away for his girl. He didn't care. He just
Exactly.
wanted the money. So, and that
Exactly.
was that. They got up and walked out. So,
And you know something? If Pam really loved that little girl, she would have signed the paper. She'd have got
yeah,
the little girl away from Donnie. She'd
yeah,
have got that little girl, out of the cesspool and the hellhole that they drug those two children. Or actually, if she cared, she would have let both of those children, in my opinion, go.
yeah,
Both of them, because they really done those two children no good,
yeah.
dragging them through all the things they did and allowing all the things they did to happen to these children, over the years.
Mhm.
Um, you know, and you're right. That's another thing that, this is why I love Mary, because, she calls out the fact that, Don Wells, he does not care for no one but himself. He cannot feel for others. And she has said this numerous times in many different ways, with her sister, with her, with these children,
Yeah,
many, many times with her parents, with his mother. She said it many, many times. Donnie he's not able to feel for anyone other than himself. It's all about me, 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 me. He's always been selfish because Don Wells did not have a hard life. Don Wells had an easy life. Don Wells was spoiled. He was spoiled by daddy and he was spoiled by mommy because mommy and daddy were split up. And
yep,
he took full advantage of it.
mm, yep. He did too. Yeah,
Absolutely did.
when we were growing up with him in that house, Sissy, we were always walking on eggshells because if we did anything to hurt little Donnie or his feelings, God forbid, we would get the wrath of my dad. You know
Right?
what I mean? Yeah, we were always, and Donnie, I mean, my dad was constantly buying him cars, and he'd go out a week later and wreck them,
Right.
and shit like
Don,
that. It was bad, Sissy. It was bad.
because Don Wells did not respect, he expected.
Yeah. Yep.
And he knew his dad was ridden up with guilt,
Mhm.
and this is his way of trying to make it up. And he
Yeah.
knew his mother was ridden with guilt and her
Constantly.
way of trying to make it up.
Yep.
And he did not respect nothing. He expected everything. And that's what brought him into that house in 2020 with his boy, saying, I don't give a damn what anybody thinks. I'm walking up in here and I'm going to be boss and I'm taking everything over. You can't stop me.
Yep.
And thank God there was people, including his own dad, backing them to stop him. I bet his dad didn't ever bank on the day that his son would come and try to overpower him the way Donnie did. Now, if his dad didn't have all of you and
Yeah.
wouldn't have had your husband,
Mhm.
I think they would have been overpowered.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
there
really
probably
do.
have been. Yeah, because I mean that day that my husband went in there, and confronted him because he was yelling at my dad, screaming at him, trying to get him up to fighting. It's like, are
Right?
you serious? You
And
know,
was he drunk or sober at that time?
I believe he was drunk. I believe he was. He wasn't real drunk, but he had been drinking.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. And
yeah,
possibly hate up on something else as well.
yeah, 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 yeah. Because when my mom and dad gave me that RV, when I got it home and I went out there to clean it, because Donnie was the last one that was in that RV. There was needles in there. There was all kinds of paraphernalia. I found a glass pipe in there that you smoke meth through, I guess, or whatever it's called.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah, there was all, yeah, and it was a wreck. It was bad.
Yeah, we actually, well, they send it, they had called in a well health check for Candus. We were on a live with him. He was alive. Don Wells was alive. And believe it or not, right on the live, he he was sitting there, you know, using a needle to, um, do itself. And then you seen him after he did himself, you seen him do Candace. Yes. And that is the God's honest truth.
Wow.
Um,
Yeah.
whoever remembers that, put a one in the chat if you remember Don Wells doing that on a live.
I believe it.
He
I
did.
believe it.
He straight up did. And and on another one, this was a whole totally separate one. He went
Hmm.
in the bathroom. He was in the bathroom doing it. The
Wow.
one he was out in the live out like in that little kitchen area,
Yeah.
and he did it right at the table, and then did Candace. And the next thing you know, Candace is in a chair looking like she was ready to just go out of the world.
Wow.
And he was, and then another time he was in, I think a couple of times other than that, he was in the bathroom doing, the same thing. And yeah, I mean,
Wow.
they have some serious problems with illegal substances. Absolutely.
Yeah. You know, and there was that time too when he had well, I'm sure you've heard me tell it. I think I was on Josh's panel or something. When he went into my bathroom, him and Pam had came over, and this was in 1993, and they had came in. Um, Donnie walked straight to my bathroom, shut the door, and me and Pam were just sitting in the front room talking. And God, he had been in there for like 30 minutes, and I'm looking at Pam, and I'm like, "What is Donnie okay?" And she's like, "Yeah, he's in there shooting up." And I was like, "What?" I
All
mean,
right.
I literally freaked. I was like, "What?" And she goes, "Yeah, he's in there." And um, I'm like, "No, oh hell no, 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 no." So I got up and I went in there and I went to open the door, but it was locked. And I started banging on it, and I'm like, "Donnie, get out of my bathroom." And he never answered me. But Pam, she walks up behind me and she's like, "Mary, he's not gonna come out. You just have to wait till he's done." And I'm like, "Well, what the hell?" And she goes, "Well, when he shoots up, he gets sick. And it takes him about 30 minutes or so to come back around and, you know, handle
Right.
his eye or whatever he's doing." Because I had never shot up before. I didn't know what was going on or how it worked, you know.
Right. Right.
So um I was like, okay, and then he came out about probably 15, 20 minutes later, and as soon as he came out of that bathroom, I told him, I said, get the hell out of my house. I looked right at him and said, get the hell out of my house. And he goes, are you serious? And I said, yeah, I'm serious. You get out of my house. You're not welcome in here, not welcome here anymore.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Because if he goes in there and something was to happen, oh
Yeah.
my goodness. I mean, you lose everything. You lose it all because of that. You
Hmm.
know, you can't allow people to come into your household, you know, doing illegal stuff because, you know, a lot of times things go wrong. I mean, you know, you got a 50-50 chance. You got a 50-50 chance that, that you're going to either be, in a hospital or you're just going to make it. You're going to make it through. I mean, it's 50-50 when when someone is messing with illegal substances. It is always, it's like the flip of a coin, and you don't know if you got another day or not.
Yeah.
You know,
Not only that, I mean, I had my own kids to consider.
absolutely.
That just wasn't happening in my house, you know.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I would not allow illegal substance to come into my home. For one, I don't want them around my children.
Yeah.
I'm raising children to say no. And
Mm,
how can I raise children to say no if I'm not saying no myself?
yep.
You know, because
Exactly.
kids are very smart. They're very smart. And, and I'll tell you what your children will say. Yeah, you tell us no. Why don't you take your own advice?
Yeah.
You don't want to hear that out of your kid's mouth. You don't want to hear, why not? You do it.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
What you want to hear is, um, my mom raised me decently because she didn't do none of this stuff and we do none of this stuff.
Yeah.
I'm glad I lived in a home that was alcohol and drug free, right? The only drugs in the house are prescribed by doctors for the people who are legally taking them. That's
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
the way it should be.
Yeah.
Has Candace ever talked to Mary? Has Candace ever talked to you, Mary? Did you ever meet or know Candace?
No. No, but I don't know, maybe she hasn't seen that where Candus. I mean, I've talked to Candus on the phone, but never in person.
Right.
And then that night that him and Donnie played that trick on me, Candace and
Right.
Donnie played that trick on me when they called me at midnight, and she's all bawling and doing a damn good performance of it,
Right.
making me think that the cops are coming to get Donnie and that they're beating the shit out of him
Right.
and all kinds of things are going through my brain and
And at that time, you still really cared. You cared. You actually, I mean, all the ugliness that he had done, all the bad he had done to you, you still had compassion, mercy, and kindness.
right,
You're
right,
really a good person. You're a beautiful person. Don't ever change. The devil will try to, but don't let him. Keep
yeah,
who you are. You have to fight to be who you are today.
yeah, definitely.
So much evil, so much evil. And when they came up there to, when they came to Utah the last time, Candace and Donnie stopped by to see the dad. Did they
Hmm.
spend the night or did they get a hotel? I mean, when they was in Utah at that particular time, um, who was they staying with? I mean, did they spend the night somewhere there or did you see them or was you at your mom and dad's at the
I
time
didn't.
they
No, I didn't see them, but They were on a layover in Salt Lake City, coming back from the Dr. Phil show in California,
right?
and came to my dad's, and I don't know why they did this, but actually Tim Mullins was with them. Okay.
Oh, really? So he was at your dad's house too?
Yep. Tim
Okay.
Mullins was with them. Yep. Yep. He's the one who was taking the pictures. of Donnie and Candus with my dad and took the pictures of my dad. And then they left there and went up
Oh,
the canyon and done
was,
the.
was Tim with them? Was Tim with them when they went up into the canyon and
Yeah,
did that little thing?
Tim was the one who was filming all that. Yes.
Okay, okay. Good to know. Good to know.
Yeah. Yep.
Well,
So
thank you for that.
yeah.
God
Yep.
bless.
Yep.
Okay, continue. Do tell.
So yeah. So when they went up and done that, and then they went from there back to catch their plane and went back home. So their layover must have been at least a couple hours long because it takes about 20 minutes to get to Ogden Canyon from my mom and dad's house. So and then it takes another 45 minutes from my mom and dad's house to get to the Salt Lake City airport. So they had to have had at least a 2 hour layover.
Right. So they showed up at your dad's house and hung around there and went up in the canyon with
My mom said they were there for about a half hour.
okay. And then they went up into the canyon, or did they already go up into the canyon?
So then they went up into the canyon and
Right,
then that Summerwell's honorary marker thing or whatever,
right.
and then they went left and went back to the airport. So
Did you kind of feel like that marker thing was a tombstone instead of a? I mean, that's what I got out of it.
yeah,
In my opinion, it's like they went up there and kind of officially,
yeah,
um, you know, pronounced her gone for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. And in my opinion, when somebody dies and you go do an honorary marker for them, they usually do it, say, where the person got killed or got hit by a car or they were on a bike and got hit by a car. Well, all of a sudden you see this honorary marker that somebody put up, like a cross or whatever. In their case, they put a rock on a rock or something. But
Right,
but it just made me wonder, well, maybe Donnie, got rid of her and moved her body down there. Why else would they put an honorary marker in Ogden Canyon of all places?
right.
Why?
But if they would have, I mean, if somehow they was able to have her with them
Uh-huh.
to put up there, then
Right.
then Tim Mullins would have had to know because
Yeah.
he's with them. He would have
Yep.
had to have insight on all of this.
Yep. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
Hmm.
Absolutely. And Don and Candace might have been being, supervised and overseen and watched, but Tim wouldn't have.
Yeah.
Actually, you know, actually he could have been the mule if they were moving her because
Yeah.
nobody was watching him.
Right.
That's
Right.
true. Yes, absolutely.
Could have been, you know. And I
Yeah,
really do, I really do think that there was a reason why Donnie came down here and stayed here for 6 months. I think, I don't know, I think that it ties in with Summer's disappearance. I really do. So,
right, right. Yeah. Don is obsessed with Utah. He's
yeah.
obsessed with it.
Hmm.
Um, you know, uh, Mary, someone asked how your dad was, Mary. They wanted to know how your dad's doing.
All he does is sleep now. He weighs, I'm guessing, maybe 60, maybe 70 pounds. He looks really, really bad. He to me he looks like, one of them people back in Hitler. When
Right,
they had all them Jews locked up and
right.
everything, and
Yeah,
their
absolutely.
bodies were just terribly skeleton.
When they
You know what I mean?
had them in the prison camps.
Yeah, that's how his body looks. I mean, it's terrible. I I mean, I like going over there to see him, but I hate seeing him that way,
Right.
because I don't know, hospice keeps giving us like 2 weeks or a month, but he's defying the odds big time. So, but I mean, he's still here.
Me and Mary was talking about that, that like she said, was it a year, 2 years? They couple years ago they gave him a week or two,
Yeah,
and he's still hanging in there like a year or two later. And
yeah,
me and her was talking about it, and Mary said, like, he doesn't know, a lot of things.
yeah.
And he's like, dementia or Alzheimer's, something's going on there.
Mhm.
And Mary says, I said, well, do you think maybe, he's hanging in there to see about summer? I mean, he the last, his kind of like his last memories there when he still had somewhat of a memory. He's getting all this bad news about his little granddaughter and being gone. I'm sure this didn't help none. Didn't help his situation having to go through all that trauma. And
Right. I think he's forgotten quite a bit about it. Before Donnie, right after she went missing, Donnie was constantly calling my dad, at least for a good year after she went missing. He was
right,
calling and talking to my dad at least every day, even sometimes twice a day, you know.
right,
And but now, I mean, my dad, he's like I said, he sleeps all the time. The last time I went over there and well, I went over there just a couple days ago, but he was sleeping. But before that, it'd been at least a month before I'd been over there. But he kept asking how my ex-husband was. He's like, "How's Russ doing? How's Russ doing?" I'm like, "He's doing okay, Dad. How you guys doing together?" So
right,
he's thinking I'm still married to my ex-husband. So
right.
I wouldn't even, I don't know. I wouldn't doubt it if he has even forgotten about Donnie. I don't know. You know, I
Do you
just don't.
know Donnie was the one person that was a lot, that this man really loved, but was a lot of turmoil for him.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, Donald, I don't think he forget about him. I'm wondering if he's kind of holding out to see, you know, to hear or see the outcome. He's holding for something.
yeah,
Some reason he is hanging on by the thread,
yeah. He's
refusing to go. Do you think maybe his fear, maybe he's hanging on, his fear is that if he was to go, that, that he's afraid that Donnie or, the ones would come in and maybe put his wife on the road? You think maybe he's trying to hold on for her, to go after she does?
I don't know.
And maybe he's afraid. Maybe he's afraid that, she
He
won't
could.
have nowhere if he ain't there.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I
Does
said,
he know she's there, right? Does he know his wife?
yeah, yeah. I mean, she's right next to him. In the
Right,
bedroom. They've got separate beds, but she's right next to him. And
right,
you know, they're she's always talking to him and stuff. Like he forgets a lot of the time when like he forgets that he just got through having breakfast or something.
right.
He'll turn to my mom and he'll be like, "I'm hungry. You just ate." "No, I didn't. I'm starving." you know. So he knows she's there, I think, but like I
Right,
said, these days he's sleeping a lot, all day long, just sleep, sleep, sleep. So,
right. Exactly.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
You know, what do you think happened? What do you think happened to Summer?
Well, I've had a few, you know, thoughts about what happened to her, but it's either one or two. Donnie either sold her or killed her. I mean, that's just my opinion. You know what I
Right.
mean?
And I
Um,
agree. I agree.
you know,
Absolutely. That's my opinion too. That's
I
my
I just don't know. You know,
um somebody says when your dad passes away, do you think Donnie will come and try to take the house then?
he might, but I just talked to my brother the other day, and he said that the house and like all the cars and stuff like that, I guess they put that into a trust. That probably maybe 6 months ago or something. I'm not quite sure when, but so I don't know. If Sonia House is like at the front of the trust. Um,
Somebody asked, do you think that Pam Wells would hide Summer for Donald?
um, maybe, but I know that she's not because, for one thing, she's homeless. I heard that she's been living in the back of little Donnie's house, in a trailer. And I know she was at the shelter for, gosh, probably at least a year or longer.
Right,
And that was just within the last, year or so.
being
Um,
his mother, why do you think he doesn't let her live inside the house?
who's that?
Being little Donnie, with that being his mother, why do you think he doesn't allow her to live inside the house?
Well, when he first got the house, he had a bedroom all for her, just for her. And
Right,
she moved in and stuff, but like, uh, probably about 6 months later or so, he told her because she wasn't bathing. And he told her, "You have to start bathing." And she told him, "No, I'm not going to bathe." And so he kicked her out because she was so stinky that he couldn't handle it.
right,
Yeah,
right,
and they've got little kids and his wife's there and stuff. And I'd have to kick her out too. I mean, literally, the difference between, I mean, either you have a house to live in, have shelter, or get kicked out because you're not showering. And she chose the latter of the two. Well, I'll
right,
just leave. Kick me out. Fine. I'm not showering. And then she goes to the shelter. It's like, what? WTF? What's going on here? You know?
mm,
So, yeah.
wow.
So that's why she's not allowed in the house because she stinks and she will not shower.
Did Pam and Donald move homeless people in with them when they lived in Utah?
No, not that I know of. I never seen other people living with him, but he had a lot of friends coming over all the time. They lived in a few apartments down here. They lived in a trailer court one time. They've lived with my mom. They've lived in my mom's backyard in a trailer. Um, yeah, but not that I know of. Did they ever have any homeless people in living with them? But um, shoot, how old was they? The kids were probably about 15, 16, 17, something like that. Donnie and Margie, and I know Pam was living in a house in up here in Ogden because I went and seen her. And I can't remember where Donnie was, but she had a whole bunch of kids living with her. She said that they were her kids, but I didn't believe her because she was such a liar anyway.
Right. And how
So
old were these kids?
they were like all in their teens.
So she had a ton of teenagers hanging around.
She did at that time, yeah, when the kids were teenagers themselves. And they didn't really live in that house very long. They were constantly moving from place to place because they were always destroying the places that they lived in. And then, word got out to where about Pam and, her, the way, I mean, people wouldn't like rent to her anymore, or rental places wouldn't rent to her anymore because of the way they left their places when they moved out. So,
Right.
but yeah.
Right. Well, you know what? Me and you was talking about the dog that
Hmm.
Donnie and your dad went out. Um, tell everybody about this dog you was telling me about.
Yeah, my mom and dad had a cocker, and they um she had ended up dying. I think she got hit by a car or something. God, I can't even remember how she died. But my dad had buried her in the front yard kind of next to the front door. And he had put her in a bag, like a garbage bag or something. And well, when she started like decomposing, it stunk really, really bad, and he only buried her a couple of feet. So, after probably, God, a month or so that she was buried, they had to move her. They had to dig her up and bury her someplace else and take her out of that bag because it was stinking so bad. You know what I mean? Because she was decomposing. And Donnie's the one who had to dig her up and replace her remains. And to him, I mean, everybody else in the house was like, oh my God, the smell. And it was bad and seemed like it didn't even bother Donnie, not one bit. So,
Right. So to move Summer wouldn't have been nothing for him, in your opinion.
yeah, especially the smell. Could you imagine the smell? I mean,
Absolutely.
literally. I mean, trigger warning here, but
Right.
I'm trying to be real about this. And it just all the stuff is just, you know, I mean, I could tell you horror stories from growing up around him. So,
Wow. Do tell.
you know.
Did you have one in mind?
Yeah, maybe on another show, but yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Um, I think all of those teenagers that Mary saw was a bunch of um was a whole lot of Pam's two kids' friends. I think it was
Yeah.
teenagers always bring a house full of other kids around, especially a house that allows it. And Pam and Donald did.
Right.
So I think that all them kids were, teenagers, um, teenagers will keep your house full if you allow it.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And do you know why? Do you know why I mean, do you have any idea why Pam didn't bath? Why Candace won't bath? Why will these women? I mean, do you have do you have any idea what their malfunction might be?
I, I have no idea, why people do that. I don't. And the strange thing about it is Pam was homeless when Donnie found her and got with her, and then he gets with Candace, and I heard that she was homeless when he got with her. It's like, what is the deal with Donnie and homeless women?
That well, also when he got, do you know when he got with Candace, she was pregnant, right? That's why Pam and him pulled Candace into their house because she was getting ready to have a baby.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And then when she went to the hospital and
Uh-huh.
actually had
Uh-huh.
the baby was taken away because allegedly the baby was addicted to, illegal substances and was taken away.
Right.
But someone that knows Candace said that Candace had confided in them that she didn't want the baby anyway because it was not a full bred baby.
Right.
Um, yeah. So, she didn't want it anyhow.
Right.
And he went back to Don and Candace's house and ended up shortly after that Pam throwed a cup of coffee on Donald. Pam went to make some coffee. She comes back out, and Candace and Don's getting it on, and she throws hot coffee on Don and tells Donald to take that, you know what, and get the hell out of there with her. And
Okay.
he did. And he did, and they were homeless for a while in Tennessee
Right.
and living in Don's van. And
Mm-hmm.
then Donald had a van they were living in. And then Candace, got pregnant again, and that was with Josie, the oldest boy.
Right.
And when she got pregnant with Josie, there was a woman there who offered to take them in because she was, with child. And the woman thought she was being nice, and so she offered to take Don and Candace in.
Right.
And Don and Candace trapped her in the kitchen by her own refrigerator and
Wow.
was going to attack her. And someone else was in the home, went and got some help,
Right.
law enforcement. And in the meantime, this woman felt threatened, so she pushed us out of the way because she was in fear.
Right.
And when law enforcement got there, the
Mm-hmm.
lady wouldn't have went to jail for defending herself against Don and Candace. The reason she went to jail was over some tickets or something that hadn't been paid.
Uh-huh.
And Don and Candace were so happy when they took her to jail. They thought they was going to now take over her, her living quarters and just live there, for free. And the landlord showed up and
Mm-hmm.
told them no, that they wasn't supposed to be there. They, and they needed to leave, vacate immediately, or he'll have law enforcement remove them,
Uh-huh.
and as intruders.
Right.
And he told them that that was that lady's house, and when everything gets cleared up, she's coming back to it. And
Mm-hmm.
they put them out on the road. Now after that, they still lived in the van. They still lived in homeless in the van until Josie was born.
Mm-hmm.
And once Josie was born, then that's when they headed over into Tennessee to his
Mm-hmm.
mother's,
Wow.
is after Josie was born in Arkansas.
Right.
And they had three more children
Yeah.
over in Tennessee. That's where the two boys in summer was born as well. And and I think that's, a lot of the reason his mother put up with them. And she didn't leave the house to Don. She left the house. She was telling me she did not leave the house to Donald. Can
Oh.
you elaborate on that tonight?
His mom left the house to Lyda Trent or whatever,
right?
or I think her name is or whatever. Yeah, because she was from what I understand, she was Karen's best friend. And
Exactly.
Karen left the house to her, but is what had happened was, um, I believe is what had happened was Donnie was harassing her so bad about getting the house, that I think that he, threatened her or scared her into, doing a quick claim deed for $10 because she probably got so frustrated and upset with Donnie constantly on her about getting the house. She probably just said, "Take it. Here's your house," you know? So, and I believe that's how Donnie got it into his name because his mom sure as hell didn't leave it to her, leave it to him. And then, there was some digging. Actually, it was Ziggy who brought it to my attention that she done some digging and she came up with a quick claim deed from Clyda Trent to Donnie Wells, to Donald Wells, to Donnie for $10. So Donnie got his mother's house for $10.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. I see you. Um, yeah, Mary believes that he did harass this woman the way he did her dad. Absolutely.
I
And
Donnie
now,
harassed my dad constantly.
um, Mary considers Don's dad her own dad because he raised he married her mom and raised all of Mary's brothers, Mary and her brothers and sisters as his own. And Mary says, um, other than Donnie being around, life was beautiful. Life
Yeah,
was beautiful. He was a good dad. Her mom was a good mom. Um, unless Don was around. If Donald was around, things were always, you know, everything was always, up in the air and into Ray because of Donald. But overall, there was nothing wrong with, the dad or the mom. They were really, really good parents and took good care of the kids and so forth. Make sure they had food, roof over their head, food on the table, clothes on their backs,
yeah,
and it would have been perfect had Donald not existed as part of that life. Um, you know, Donald was very cruel
hmm
to Mary and her siblings,
yeah,
and and he became cruel to his own dad,
yeah,
and his stepmom as well.
yes,
At their older age, it seems like Don Wells likes to prey upon the weak. I mean,
yeah.
he would have done that to his dad when his dad was 50, 60 years old.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He wouldn't
Yeah,
have came and done none of that. You
no,
know, Don Wells likes to, him and Candus both like to prey on people in their weakest moments. But that's how evil people are. That's what they do. That's
yeah,
what they do.
yep,
Most abusers, most evil people, most abusers are cowards. They
yeah,
do, they do sinister things and, in a very creepy, weird, um, you know, behind your back. When you're strong enough to overpower them, they do everything behind your back to
yeah,
get at you.
right,
And when you're older or too young, that's when they try to use their power to overpower you.
yeah,
Um, to your face.
yeah,
And that's just how they are. That's just how they are.
yeah.
And does Mary have any info about Candace's sister that's missing?
Um, yeah, I don't, I didn't know her. I didn't even know Candus had a sister that went missing until after, all the stuff with Summer and everything came out and, you know, um, but, you know, um, I did ask Donnie once when I was talking to him about her. I said, well, is what I asked him was, so did you know her sister that went missing? And the first words out of Donnie's mouth were, we had we had nothing to do with her disappearance. We weren't even in that state. And it's like, Donnie, I didn't ask you that. I asked you if you knew her.
Right. If you'd ever met her, if you knew her.
Yeah. I didn't ask if you were had anything to do with her disappearance or I mean, what kind of uh you
He was
know
on the defense when there was no reason to be on the defense.
right. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay,
That's a red
you
flag.
know.
That's a red
So,
flag, right?
well, yeah, to me it is because, and I was like, oh, okay, so you didn't know her then. He goes,
And
no. He goes, I met her like one time. I didn't even know her. And I'm like, okay, but then like a month later, he was doing a live with, I can't even remember with who, but he was talking about Candace's sister, and he's like, oh, she was like the best person ever, and she was so sweet, and she was so nice, and all this other stuff. And I thought, now wait a minute, you told me you didn't even know her,
right,
you know? So something's up there.
right. You know, they lied also. I found it kind of suspicious when they lied, trying to say that they were, that they was in heading to Tennessee during the time, the sister disappeared.
Right.
And clearly research showed that they wasn't nowhere near Tennessee, hadn't even been, they were still over in Arkansas and
Right.
possibly in Wisconsin for all we know. We
Uh-huh.
don't know where they was, but they were not in Tennessee yet
Right. Right.
because Candus had a charge for attacking Margie's boyfriend around the same time that
Right.
um, the sister disappeared.
Uh,
Candace was getting a charge still in Arkansas for violence, attacking Margie's boyfriend. So
mhm.
they were nowhere near Tennessee. So I don't know why they would lie. I mean, there's no reason to lie if if
Right.
you're not
Yeah.
guilty of anything.
Yeah.
But
Yep. Yeah. So
everything
yeah.
shows that they've done nothing but lie.
Yeah. Yep. Pretty much. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, give me a minute. I need to run to the restroom, but I'll be right back, okay?
Okay. Okay. Yes, that's true, Arctic. Absolutely. We have some work to do on that one. Yeah. Don and Candace cannot tell the truth to save their lives. They can't tell the truth to save their own life. Um, they have done nothing but lie, uh, in all of this. In all of this. One lie after the other, right? One lie after the other. But the biggest lie Don Wells told was, you know, coming out of Utah because of Jose, when none of that was true, because he was trying to cover up the real reason was called. And I think that real reason that 911 was called is exactly what led to, you know, the final 911 call when Summer was missing, completely missing. I think one had all to do with the other because some really horrible, sinister stuff was being done at the hands of these people to this little child. This little child was enduring. She was enduring a lot of bad things. A lot of bad things. I don't even, I don't even think our minds could perceive some of the things that these people may have put her through, right? No one, no one should ever have to go through that. Nobody should ever have to go through that. I'm going to tell you, evil is real. Evilness is real. Evilness is alive. And this world is getting a lot more evil by the day. It's getting really wicked out there. I mean, to the point no one is safe. No one is safe. You're not safe in your grocery stores. You're definitely not safe in a lot of other places. Um, you ain't safe in the schools, right? You're not safe in school. It just nobody's safe. There's no safe place. Even churches, right? Even a church. Even churches have had altercations, right? It's like no matter, where is, what place is safe on this earth? What place is really safe on this earth? None. Because didn't they even have to ban a whole they had to ban a whole police station? Didn't they have to ban a whole police station, pull out and ban away from it, because of pure evilness? Of course. So even your police stations are not safe, right? You think you run to the police station, you're going to be safe? You're not safe anywhere anymore. That's how evil it is.
Yeah, it's getting bad.
You, she said, hey, I got a question. How did my name turn green membership? I gifted out some memberships and you got a membership. So you're now a member of the channel. God bless. God bless. PG, can you ask Mary if Don is still harassing her with phone calls, please? And thank you.
I actually have not heard from him for about 2, 3 months now, maybe
Woo,
longer.
praise the Lord.
Yeah,
Praise the
yeah,
Lord. Hallelujah.
yeah,
Right? And hope not to hear from him for 3 or 4 more.
yeah. Right. Turn that into years.
Right. Mary said if she does hear from him, she hopes it's good news that he tells her exactly what happened and where we can find Summer.
Yeah,
That,
if he would.
if he ain't going to tell everything, then don't bother to call.
Yeah, there you
Right?
go. Right, yeah,
Don't want to hear from you.
yeah, definitely. Hey, sissy, well, I gotta go. I need to let my dogs out and all that
And
good
I so
stuff.
appreciate you coming up and spending the time with me tonight. Oh, right before you go, one more little thing.
Yes.
Um, the picture.
Oh,
Someone put this picture out saying that this is Donald in kindergarten. I Mary says no, it's not.
nope. That is not Donnie. No. I grew
The
up with Donnie. I even went to school with him in kindergarten because we lived in the same town and my mom was watching them. Donnie, Sonia, and Heidi. Yeah,
right.
that's not Donnie. No, no way in hell is that Donnie. No.
The second picture is Donnie.
Yes, yes, that's Donnie.
And Mary said that Don has always been blonde headed. The other little boy is not blonde, and Don also is like bluish green eyed. The other
Mhm.
little boy you could clearly tell is very dark eyed.
Yes.
We don't know who the other little boy is, but the one is Donald. The
Yeah.
one, the blonde headed one,
Yeah.
definitely is
Yeah.
Donald. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you clearing so much up and putting out so much info that was very much needed for Summer's case. Absolutely. And
And I'll you know, if you want me to, maybe in a little while or something, or you know.
ab- absolutely, I would always love to have you up on here. Mary has a cooking channel. If you are not subscribed to Mary's cooking channel, please go and subscribe to it. She has giveaways. She really knows how to cook. She makes some beautiful recipes, and her channel's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. So if you haven't checked it out, please do. If you haven't subscribed, please do, and always make sure you like the videos. Give them a thumbs up to help Mary out. Um, Mary is a beautiful person, and she really wants Summer found. She really wants Summer brought home, and she really wants justice served on Summer's behalf. And Mary, her sisters, they are not going to back down. They're not going to back down from none of this, and they will stand. They will stand strong for themselves, and they will stand strong for Summer, and they will stand strong for every other child in this world that people believe they can abuse when they shouldn't.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Mary and her family's a voice for the voiceless. God bless them and much love to them, right?
Yep.
Hey,
Thank you
Mary,
so
we
much. Yeah.
we love you, girl, and I
All right.
appreciate you being up here.
Thank you. And you guys, everybody have a good night.
Hey, I hope to have you back soon.
Yeah. 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 We'll do it again soon. Yep.
Absolutely.
All
God
right.
bless, girl.
All right. Bye.
Okay. As the show went on tonight, I got some people in here, new members. Blue Bella, I appreciate that, girl. God bless. Much love for supporting Summer's channel. And Angel, I appreciate it. Super sticker. I appreciate that. And Prissy Paws, member for 25 months. All right. Summer Army, never giving up. That's right, girl. That is absolutely right. God bless, right? I still appreciate Mary coming up tonight. I appreciate her, sharing with us all the details and the things. I mean, we didn't ever know. We didn't know that, the reason Don really came back, right, to Tennessee. Don Wells lied. Candace Wells lied. And, we're going to go over this more. We're going to go over this more. Um, as the next few days go on. Um, tomorrow night, you guys, I am going to try. I'm going to try to have a members only live tomorrow night. It will be members only. Um, that I've been trying. I've been trying to do even before now, but I told you guys I was so busy, and I'm so sorry that I haven't been able to get around to it. But tomorrow night it will be members live only. Um, so be ready for that. Be ready for that. I want to share some information, some things. Um, you know, privately with Summer's Army. So be ready for that. It's something I just don't want to put all out here for certain reasons. Um, and I don't plan on taking the live down. It's not going to be, it's information about Summer's case, nothing. What I'm saying is, no, I won't be going sideways back at anyone that's been coming at us. It's not about that. I won't be doing that no more. I won't be doing that no more. Um, absolutely not. Like I said, I want nothing to do with that. I plan on staying on the path with my God and doing righteous, um, and trying to keep PG's flesh from, getting me in trouble. I need to, I need to worry about my soul, the thing that everyone should be worried about, in this day and time, and how bad things are getting in this world. So, and like I said, after, after understanding some things, very scary stuff. I just want to stay on the straight and narrow, you guys, and just help these missing kids be found, brought home, and justice served. Um, Hey, Mama Homestead, I appreciate it. I became a YouTube member. All right, I appreciate that, sweetie. I really do. I appreciate your support for Summer's channel. But you know what? We're going to continue. We're going to continue. We got a lot of new information tonight. New information, to help us understand some of the things, right? Some of the things that we really was wondering about in Summer's case. I think we always knew what that 911 phone call was about, but you kind of, we really, what I'm saying is Don and Candus, they're good at planting the seed of doubt, right? They're good at planting a seed of doubt. They're good at having a lot of people, getting a lot of people to do evil for them, right? Saying, no, it was about this. And well, now we know what it was about. We have no doubt in our mind now what that 911 call was about. We have no doubts in our mind now, about Don's reasoning for going back into Tennessee. The reason he went back wasn't over no jealousy. It was absolutely over. It was absolutely over the fact that he got, told to get away from the dad's house. Don't be coming here no more. You got to go. And he went. So, now we know the real reason he went out of Utah and back into Tennessee. And it wasn't over no jealousy. And that 911 call wasn't over no jealousy either. And that has been established and confirmed tonight. That's solid. That's solid. So you know what? That helps us a lot. That helps us a lot to understand more of what was really going on and happening to Summer Moon Utah Wells, right? That helped us a lot more. So, that helps us a lot more in understanding, what happened to her and why, right? What was really going on. So I'm so grateful that Mary came up. I'm so grateful she shared the information she did with us. And PG is going to head out of here as well. I'm going to head out of here as well and give everybody, the rest of the evening to enjoy the rest of the evening. And I appreciate each and every one of you for being here. I want to let you know how much I appreciate you being here and supporting Summer along with everyone else out here, with myself, with Mary, with all the other creators. I seen Justin in the chat tonight. I wanted to give a shout out, let my brother know how much I love him and how much I care and how much I did see him in the chat. And I was by no means ignoring him at all. I wanted to shout out to him earlier, but I didn't want to interrupt Mary, giving us the information for Summer because it's very important. But I'm giving him one now. So, Justin, I'm shouting out to you, letting you know how much I love you, hon. How much I love you, how much I care, and how much I appreciate you being out here for these children as well. So many good creators, so many good ones. Smalley's a very beautiful creator. Shout out to her too, and prayers. Please keep the prayers going up for her family. They are going through so much. But Absolutely. So I'm going to tell you, I'm heading out tonight. We will be uh, talking more about this, talking more about it, discussing more about it, and the days to come. And I don't ever leave. I don't ever leave out of here without asking for you to pray for Summer Moon Utah Wells. Please, please, please keep those prayers going up. God is pulling all of these stuff, everything done in darkness. He is pulling it into the light. I know it's little by little, but you know what? I thank him for everything he's doing because, I think God is solving Summer's case little by little. Maybe we can't handle it all at once. I don't know. I don't question God. I don't know his reasoning. I just know that if we keep them prayers going up, I really do trust in God, and I really do believe that he is going to answer our prayers when we pray for Summer to be found, brought home, and justice served. I truly believe God is going to answer all our prayers at some point. He's going to let us find Summer. What I'm trying to say is God is answering our prayers. He's pulling the things from the darkness into the light little by little. He's answering our prayers, you guys. So keep those prayers going up, because I'm going to tell you, we get different stuff pulled into the light every day. And you know what? Keep those prayers going up, and Summer, where she's at, will be pulled into the light. She'll be brought home, and justice will get served. So please, trust in God. Know that he's listening. Know that he's answering. And we just need to keep praying. So send those prayers up for this little beautiful baby girl who needs to be found. In the name of Jesus, amen. And send them up for one another. So many people need prayer. Please send prayers up for one another. A family that prays together stays together. I don't know what anybody needs. I don't know what they want, but I know God does. And let us pray in the name of Jesus Christ that he answers all of our prayers. Amen. Listen, everybody, PG's out of here. And I just want to say God bless, much love, and good night, everyone.